Yes, first of all, see the last unit, there is a chapter on page 81, accounting for stockbrokers. Page 81, accounting for stockbrokers. Do you all find that?
Yes, sir.
Now, see, as such, if you opt for NGO, then it's a very lengthy one. So, guarantee that you'll get 15 marks question. But the paper pattern is what? Question 1 is 10 marks, which includes 2.5 marks question from each unit. So, there you don't have any alternative. And what will they ask from NGO for 2.5 marks? For 2.5 marks from NGO, hardly they can ask anything. So there you will have theory of this chapter. So it is not that complete option can come. 2.5 marks can be expected. Rest you can leave in option 15 marks or full-fledged question of NGOs, 4 marks and that. Okay. I think last week you asked some doubt in NGO, which was important. Question 5A. Furniture sold. All of you look at question 5A, page 78. Furniture sold is an important adjustment in that. Page number 78, question 5A. I am explaining the effects of furniture adjustment. Rest you can do it on your own. Did you all try this homework? Not done the homework. Achha, I did not ask you to do this. Yes, sir. You played the other ones? The moment you said yes, sir, I understood. You were waiting for someone else. Now, be relative debit side, how much is furniture in trial balance?
58,000.
58,000. Credit side, sale proceeds of old furniture? 3,500. And it is sold on which date? 1/10/13, exactly in the middle of the year. Adjustment T, what is the book value of furniture sold? 5,000. And adjustment E, what is the depreciation on furniture? 10%. Now, understand how to solve this adjustment. First of all, we are right now doing the working of only furniture sold. On 1/4/13, what is the book value of the furniture sold? 5,000. It is sold on 1/10/13. So before selling it, we will provide 6 months depreciation. No one should be writing it, okay? Just understand it. Now, how we will count 6 months depreciation? 5,000 into 10% into 6 by 10% depreciation. So 250. 5,000 minus 250. When you are selling, its book value is 4750. Now see on the credit side of trial balance, its selling price is 3,500.
Yes, sir.
Book value when we are selling is 4750. Anyone who did not understand up till here, raise your hand. All are clear with this? But it is sold for 3,500. So there is a loss of 1,250. Is everyone clear with this? Now how to deal with it? Very first of all, where do we show furniture? In assets with heading fixed assets. So this you will minus from furniture in fixed assets. Means whatever is the schedule, whenever you make the schedule of fixed assets, in that furniture you will show in inner column 50,000. 58,000. Then you will show minus sold 5,000. Don't subtract that 3,500. You will subtract 5,000. Remaining 53,000. Then 53,000's 10% depreciation. 5300. Okay. When you make the schedule of furniture, then in that schedule, how will you show the things? First, you will show furniture of 58,000 minus sold book value, that is 5,000. Remaining 53,000 minus depreciation 5,300, 10%. Outer column 47,700. Then you will show library and other items also. What are other fixed assets? That all you will show in fixed assets. Okay. Further, this depreciation will come in, what is the headings in P&L account? Material consumed, then employees benefits, then administration expenses, finance cost, depreciation and amortization. So there you will show this depreciation. Okay, what is the depreciation? You will show in P&L accounts schedule of depreciation. You will show 250 plus 5300. You will show how much of depreciation? 5550. When you make the schedule depreciation on furniture, you will show 5300 plus 250, 5550. Did you understand this? Then loss 1250. That you will show in other expenses schedule. Last schedule, other expenses. There you will show loss of 1250. Did you understand it? Credit side of trial balance, what is the amount? 3500. No impact of that. That automatically gets recorded. You don't have to record it anywhere. Because here what do you minus?
5,000.
You minus in assets means you credit 5,000. And these both you debit. So 1250 plus 250, how much do you debit? 1500. You credit 5,000. Debit effect you show 1500. What is the net effect? 3,500. You don't have to record that separately. 3,500 will have no effect. Okay, once again, in schedule of fixed assets from furniture you minus 5,000. Depreciation 5,300 plus this depreciation 250. What will come in the schedule of depreciation? For furniture and other depreciations of other assets you write as it is. But furniture 250 plus 5,300 550. And loss will also come in other expenses schedule. Did everyone understand this? Complete this. Now you do this in homework by the next lecture. So if any point you are not getting, then we'll take it up. Other items are all same only. Investments also has hidden adjustment. Let us discuss all the markings so that you are able to solve it when you do it in the homework. Complete this workings first. Show it. Otherwise you will not be able to do it. Hidden there? So we'll discuss the markings, then we'll take up the next theory. See that from the following balances as on 31/3/14, prepare income and expenditure account for the year ended 2014 and balance sheet of Jeevan Sadhana Trust NGO as on 31/3/14. Building FA, market as fixed asset. Furniture FA, office equipments FA. 12% investments. Now hidden adjustment. What is 50,000 12%?
6,000.
No. Look at it, adjustment F. Investments has been purchased on 31/3/14 means last day of the year, no outstanding interest. If you purchase the investments on the last day of the year, will you get any interest? You will not have any interest. So ignore the interest. Is it because we are 1/4/13, 1/10/13, then you would have counted interest for full year 1/10/13, then 6 months. And two effects you would have given. One you would have given in incomes, other incomes. And second effect you would have given in current assets. One effect in other incomes, other in current assets if the date was not 31/3/14. Here no effects of interest, okay. So investment, library, fixed asset, salary, employees benefit, EB, stationery, administrative expense, allowances and bonus, EB, cash balance, current asset, bank balance, current asset, corpus fund, general fund, creditors, current liabilities, subscription, F&S, F&S fees and subscriptions, admission fees, F&S, rent of the hall, OI, other incomes, miscellaneous income, OI, other incomes, government grants, G&D grants and donation, sale proceeds, no effect. Okay, sale proceeds will have no effect. 50% of entrance fees is to be capitalized. On this I made the correction in the last lecture, if you remember. Where will you show the capitalized entrance fees? And in corpus fund. So entrance fees, do you see? Entrance fees means admission fees.
Yes, sir.
So write down that 50% F&S and 50% plus in CF. Mention it in trial balance only so that you don't make a mistake. Do you see 1500 amount against admission fees? Against that, write 50% FNS. FNS you have marked, write it as 50%. And remaining 50% add in corpus fund. 3000 of subscription is yet to be received. Outstanding. So add in subscription, read on there, plus in FNS. Put tick on a subscription. Then you have to add it and current assets, CA. It's an income, outstanding income, and CA. Once again, 3000 subscription yet to be received. You'll add in fees and subscriptions and show it in current assets. Outstanding salary 12,000. Plus in salary, put tick on salary and on the plus in salary. And current liabilities, CL. Plus in salary and CL. D adjustment we have done on the board. E adjustment depreciation, right? Minus from FA. Put tick on all the office furniture fixed assets. Put tick on library. Put tick on furniture, office equipment, building. From all of them you do minus depreciation, and furniture you will show in this manner. Okay. And second effect, right? Depreciation and amortization. In P&L account schedules you will write it in depreciation and amortization. An investment has been purchased on 31/3/14 will have no impact. So everyone is clear with this portion? Any confusions in other questions 7 and 8? All of you able to do it? Now look at page 81, accounting for stockbrokers. As I said, 2.5 marks theory can come from this, otherwise you'll get full question of 15 marks NGO. First, a stockbroker is a member of recognized stock exchange and is engaged in buying, selling and dealing in securities. So they have explained the characteristics of a stockbroker. First, who is a stockbroker? Further, a stockbroker can deal in securities only after getting registration with SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India. A sub-broker. Now stockbroker is different than sub-broker. Is subordinate to the main stockbroker and acts on behalf of a stockbroker as an agent. So mainly he is an agent of stockbroker. Stockbroker as a principal is responsible to the investor for his sub-broker's conduct and acts. Means even sub-broker, whatever dealings he does, buying and selling, finally who will be responsible for that sub-broker? Main stockbroker. Okay, responsibility will be of main stockbroker. SEBI, stockbrokers and sub-brokers regulations 1992 govern their activities. These regulations provide for the obligations and responsibilities of stockbrokers regarding maintenance of proper books of accounts, records and documents and other allied matters. Every stockbroker is required to maintain, now underline this 7th point, this comes in exams. 7th point, can you see below that again 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are given?
Yes, sir.
Put bracket on all of them, they are sub point of 7. Okay? No, not until 7, all 14. All 14 are sub points of 7. So if in exams they ask you a question, which are the books of accounts to be maintained? Now for 2.5 marks, they will not ask you 14. For 2.5 marks, they will ask you 5 books. Write any 5 books which are to be kept, books of accounts to be kept. So you remember 10 and out of 14. 5 you tend to forget during exams. So finally 5 you will remember. Okay. Now every stockbroker is required to maintain following books of accounts and record as per Rule 15 of Securities Contracts Regulation Rules 1957 and Regulation 17 of SEBI Stockbrokers and Subbrokers Regulation 1982. All these dates etc. you don't have to remember, just remember the books of accounts. One, you require to maintain the register of transactions. Then client's register, general ledger, journals, cash book, bank passbook. Now these 3 things are very easy to remember. Because generally everyone has to keep journal, cash book, bank passbook. 3 you get out of 10. Documents register containing particulars of securities received and delivered in physical form. These days everything takes in demat form only as such. And the statement of account and other relating to receipt and delivery of securities provided by depository participants in respect of dematerialized securities. So online documents containing particulars of physical form and dematerialized securities. particulars of physical form, and last two words dematerialized securities. Last two words, okay? 8. Members contract books, and like that, members contract books showing details of all contracts entered into buying with the members, with other members of the same exchange, or counterfoils or duplicates of memos of confirmation issued to such other members. Then counterfoils or duplicates of contract notes issued to the clients. Written consent of client and land in respect of contract entered into as printed. Then margin deposit book. Margin deposit means you have to pay some margin money because the broker is going to buy and sell the securities on your behalf. What if you don't pay the money later on? So for that deposit you have to keep a book. Register of accounts of sub-brokers. An agreement with the sub-broker specifying the scope of authority and responsibility and client's account opening form in the specified form or manner. So these 14 can come in exams. Remember at least 10 out of them. Okay. Further, in addition, for the above statutory requirements, they are also required to maintain following records or documents. What were those 14? Books of accounts and records. Now, what is this? 10. They are the records or documents to be kept. Okay. Script-wise, client-wise, folio, not plot, make it folio, FOLIO. In respect of script of specified, not specified, specified group. Instead of plot, make it folio. Instead of die, make it file. Okay. Then client's final statement, that is carry forward position of all clients. Duplicate copies of self certificates submitted on monthly basis, that is the daily and breakup have been reported correctly without netting positions of two different clients in the same slip. Copies of all margin statements downloaded by the stock exchange. Copies of Valan balance sheet. Details of spot delivery transactions. Valan is a temporary balance sheet which is made for every client to show its net worth, which are the investments he has made, what is his liabilities against those investments. So if you purchase shares of 50,000 but you have purchased it on credit, you do not pay the money. So the broker will make your Valan balance sheet. Details of spot delivery transactions, client database and broker client agreement. Copy of registration certificate of each sub-broker issued by SEBI. Copy of power of attorney or board resolutions authorizing directors, employees to sign the contract, or copies of pool account statements. Then every broker shall intimate to SEBI now. So 7 contains this 14 and 10 points. This all were under the topic 7. Now 8 topic. Every stockbroker shall intimate to SEBI the place where the books of account and recording documents are maintained. Every stockbroker is required to preserve the books of Fernandez, books of accounts and other records maintained under Regulation 17 for a minimum period of 5 years. Okay, mainly remember those 14 and 10 items. They come in exams. Like if you see page number 78, in option of question 3, look at question 4A. What is asked? List out statutory books of accounts and records to be maintained by stockholder. The last 10 what we studied right now. Then question 4C, explain in brief role and function of stockbroker. Here, explain in brief means you write all 9, but the 7th point, don't write those sub points of 14 and 10. In the 7th point, don't write sub point of 14 books of accounts and 10 statutory records. Otherwise, write all the main 9 points. They are the functions and roles of stockbroker. Okay. Then page number 79, again you can see question number 7B. List out the statutory books of accounts and records, that 10 at the bottom. Okay, so generally this question will come for 2.5 marks in exams. Now, look at page number 37. Unit 2, Accounting and Real Estate Developers. Real estate, all of you understand? Main points only I am reading, because here also contract costing, you are going to get full question. That will be for 8 to 10 marks. And you'll get hospitals question also. In hospital we studied how to make that P&L account. And also we studied that costing statements, break-even point.
Yes.
So those questions will also come pertaining to 50 marks. So theory can easily be avoided. Only for 2.5 marks you need to prepare for that. So even in 2.5 marks, even in this unit, you can be asked the ratio questions. Ratio based questions. So here also 2.5 marks, mostly you would get a practice. Okay. Unit 2, do you see first paragraph at the bottom? First paragraphs at the bottom, real estate transactions cover.
Yes.
Do you find that?
Yes.
Third paragraph in the beginning, real estate transactions covered. Do you all get that?
Yes.
So what all does real estate include? First, A point, sale of plots of land, including the long-term type lease without any developers. Sale of plots of land, including long-term type lease with developers. First one, without developers. First, without developers, and second line with developers. In the form of common facilities like laying of roads, drainage, water pipelines, electric lines, sewage water tanks, water storage tanks, sports facilities, gymnasium, clubhouse, landscaping, etc. Then third, development and sale of residential and commercial units, which includes row houses, independent houses, with or without any undivided share in land. Now what is the meaning of project? So, unlike the first 3 lines, project is the smallest group of units or plots or saleable which are linked with common and set of amenities in such a manner that unless the common amenities are made available and functional, these units or plot saleable spaces cannot be put to their intended effective use. So there is a meaning of project they have explained you. Below that, can you see project cost? Project cost will include cost of land and cost of development rights. I am not reading in detail. Borrowing cost. Further project cost will be because builders also are not cash rich that they put their own money. They borrow. So that borrowing will involve rate of interest and other expenses. Borrowing cost. And third, they have to spend on construction and development costs. Now below that, construction and development costs will include what all things? In point A underline, land conversion cost, labor in point B, material in point C. Next page, depreciation in point D. Then moving plants, hiring plants, design and technical assistance. So architect and the designing expenses are also to be, but that is a part of project cost. In H point, rectification and guarantees, because many times it happens that you give the guarantee and later on breakage, leakage, etc. occurs, then the builder has to come and rectify the same at extra cost. And last point, underline claims from parties. The following costs should not be considered as a part of construction. What all is not included? Indirect expenses are not included. Which are those indirect expenses? Administration, selling, research and development, idle plant and equipment. If you are not using it, its cost will not be charged to the project. Then payments made to, unconsumed and uninstalled material will not be included. Consumed material will only be included. Payments made to subcontractors in advance will not be included. That we had done practical question also, if you remember. Advance payment to subcontractor we did not include. Further, costs that may be attributable to project in general can be allocated to specific project will include insurance, design and technical, construction or development and borrowing costs. Next point you can see is project revenues. So there also under the first 3 lines. Project revenues include revenue on sale of plots, undivided share in land, sale of finished and semi, not say make it semi, SEMI, semi-finished structure, construction, consideration for construction, constructing consideration for amenities and interiors, consideration for parking spaces and sale of development rights. All this will be included in project revenues. Below that you can see accounting for real estate transaction. So in accounting, nothing to remember. Next page we follow AS9. So there you can see the guidance note thus provides guidance in the application of AS9. Now AS9 again, if you remember, we have done in unit 1, revenue recognition. Either it is completed service method or it is proportionate completion method. And then in this chapter we have done practical questions on proportionate completion method. So in that page directly Page 39, application of principle of AS9 in respect of sale of goods to real estate project, do you find? There you can see ABCD 4 conditions.
Yes, sir.
If these 4 conditions are satisfied, then only AS9 will apply. So, which are the following 4 conditions? And like this, when the following conditions are satisfied, then only AS9 will apply. First condition, unlike seller has transferred to the buyer all risk and reward. Means it's a proper sale, it's not a lease agreement. It is a proper sale, it is not a lease agreement. Second, unlike seller has handed over possession, then only AS9 will come. And point C, unlike no uncertainty exists for consideration, regarding consideration. Means you have received the money also. And D, unlike not unreasonable to expect ultimate collection. If these 4 conditions are satisfied, then only AS9 will apply. Now within AS9, when will we apply percentage completion method? So in point A, first of all, 132 months do you find? Make it 12 months, cancel 3. So first, when do you apply this percentage completion method and duration beyond 12 months? If it is less than 1 year's duration, then apply completed service method. But if the duration is more than 12 months, then we have to adopt percentage completion method. Second line, more features common to project construction contracts. Means most of the features are of a construction contracts, then only. C point underline, individual units delivered to different buyers. Entire project is not of one person. In one project you have 10 buyers, 10 houses, 10 buyers. Then you apply generally percentage completion method. And the last one underline, development activities or construction or development activities, significant proportion of project activity. It means construction is the main part. It is not service oriented, it is mainly construction. Then below that the conditions are not relevant. So over. Contract costings theory we did when we studied at that point itself, right? So AFS syllabus is completely over. Mainly I want to take up with the revision of hospitals, because that you did not have in mid-semester exams and we had done it before the mid-semester exams. So once I am up with the syllabus of HFA, Unit 4 is going on, and there is a good news that in Unit 2 also the new point has come. But almost the questions which we have done in the class are not waste of time. They are only covered in the new practical subjects. So theory of AS10 PPE revised will come, but the practical questions are almost going to remain. So only little more will have to do. Once debentures is over, then that AS10 new points will hardly require 2 or 3 lectures, and that syllabus will also get. Then I'll take up with the revision of AFS, Unit 2. Okay. So there will be all for today. Tomorrow